Black people cannot be racist. Reverse racism is not a real thing. The government denied black soldiers access to the GI Bill for a long time. All of those slave owners are some sadistic, evil motherfuckers who do not believe in God. The government has to fix what it broke. Wake up, everybody, no more sleeping in bed. What's going on, everybody? Happy Friday Eve, happy Thursday. I'm your host, Pan, more affectionately known as Christian. That's what my mama named me. But for the sake of today, I am Pan. It is great to be here with you all. Give yourselves a hand clap for getting through this week. Yeah, man. I'm unaccompanied today, which is beautiful because that means I get to just expound on, the things that are going on in my mind, and there's a lot going on up there. A whole lot. So as I do, come to my safe space, which is out in public, to expound on the things that I have been thinking on. Shout out to everybody checking out the show today. So the theme of today's show is it rebel rousing or is it activism? And I had somebody that I look up to give me some real good advice, told me not to be a rebel rouser. And no one had ever used that word towards me for, at least not to my face, right? And I'm sure that there are people who said Christian be kicking up shit, you know what I mean? And rightfully so, right? I do that. But I had never had anybody, directly say, hey man, right, don't be a rebel rouser. Because when you are rebel rousing, though you may be correct, the way you presenting yourself will make people feel like you're wrong, right? And I can admit that there have been plenty of times in which, because I am the kind of person, when I know I'm right, I'm right. And you can't tell me nothing. Like when I'm right, if I know I'm right for sure, and I know you're wrong, I'm the kind of person that's I'm a hard ass about that. Like I know what it is I'm talking about and I'm not going to back down. And if you are pushing, I'm not going to back down. I'm not going to say, well, yeah, you got it. Hell no, you're wrong. Right? And I've always been that way. And I know that it's not the best thing for diplomacy. I know that's a little Donald Trump-esque, but we all probably got a little bit of that in us, right? Like when you know something, you know something. But that advice really stuck with me and it made me think about, how we as Black people, when we are organizing ourselves in these spaces, whether it be political or it be a nonprofit space or whatever the case may be, when you have so much passion for the community and you really want to help and you really want to be of substance, to whatever cause it is that you are fighting for, it made me think about what do we do with that passion, right? How do you mitigate the amount of heat that is coming from you when you are advocating for this thing that you care so deeply for, right? How do you advocate in a way that does not make people uncomfortable? And I've been thinking about it since he spoke to me about that, and I have not been able to come up with an actual answer for that. I mean, because in my advocacy for Black people, just period, the question I'm always asking is, why not us? And why did you overlook us? And why haven't we gotten a piece of that yet? I don't know how to ask for mine in a nice way, right? I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to go, please, sir. Just understand my plight. I don't understand how to do that. I know how to say, hey man, this is how I feel, right? Straight up. Now, if you don't like the way I feel, then that's fine. Those are my feelings. But if you give me an audience to be able to articulate how I feel and you listen to me and you receive what it is I'm trying to say, and if what I'm saying is bullshit, then let it be that. But at least give me an audience to lay my bullshit flat so that I can be heard. You know what I mean? Whatever you do with that, fine. But when it comes to Blackness, when it comes to Black activism, when it comes to Black people wanting to advocate for themselves and say the hard thing out loud, how do you do that without being someone that causes trouble? How do you do that without being someone that makes people who may be going along to get along, maybe they have a financial interest, maybe their motivations are different than yours, right? Y'all have different motivations. But at the end of the day, at least for me, and maybe this is childish, right? Like I said, this is my safe space. This is where I go to let everything go. Maybe this is childish, but in my mind, the whole reason that we are doing this stuff, the whole reason that we want people to vote, the whole reason that we want people to not live in food deserts, the whole reason that we want kids to be able to have equitable education. We want people to be able to have access to hospitals and convenience stores where they don't have to have cars and stuff like this. We want people to be able to live healthy, abundant lives. At least to me, that's the whole reason for organizing. That's the whole reason for activism. Now, if you're trying to get paid, I ain't mad at you. Get paid. But for those of us who are here because we really truly give a damn, like I don't know, like as a person who is leading with his heart, as a person who participates in this out of passion, not because I have some specific angle. I was talking to one of the homies the other day about how I feel like, people think I got like an angle or something like that, and I don't have an angle. And he was like, well, maybe you should get an angle. I don't even know where I would even point that angle. Like, because before I get an angle, I need to figure out what to do with my passion, right? Because I know that I'm not, I may be giving myself a hard time, but I may not be the most diplomatic. I feel like I do well. I feel like people like me, right? I feel like, I articulate my points correctly. Sometimes I might go a little bit off the left. I might go off to the left for sure. I do that for sure. I'm an emotional person. I like to let my emotions out for sure. But I don't know if that's like a good thing or if that's a bad thing, right? I'm just here, like being myself, right? And, going back to like the Rabble Rousing thing, like, I'll be transparent, right? Like I was on a call last week and I acted out, y'all. I acted out on that call. Like, and I probably should not have done that. And for the people who know what I'm talking about, the minute of the words, look here, motherfucker, leave my mouth. Hey, Tracy. And I probably should not have shown out the way that I showed out in that chat. I probably should not have done that. That may not have been the most diplomatic thing to do. But I was emotional, I guess, like in that moment, because I care so much and I just really want to know, like, what's going on, bro? Like, I this don't make no sense. Like, as a voter, as an organizer, as all of these things, like, I really just want to know what's happening. Tell me what's happening so I can go tell my people what's happening. Because the whole reason I'm here is to let the people know what's happening. So please tell me what's happening so I can go out into the community and I can articulate the vision in a clear and concise way so that we can get the dub. Because at the end of the day, all of this is about is getting the dub. But I don't I don't want to be a shit starter. I don't want to be out here kicking up shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm really on my Jesus. You feel me? I'm just trying to liberate the people, bro. That's all I want to do is work hard for my people. And I feel for other Black activists. I feel for other Black people who want to break into these different spaces because you really have to bite your tongue a lot. There's not a lot of things that you can say. You can't truly just be yourself. And I get a lot of brothers come to me in the background and they say, man, I really appreciate you saying the thing. And for so long, it used to lead. It was something that would just fly over my head, right? Because I'm thinking people say how they feel, right? But people don't say how they feel. Like, they really don't. They really are not truly themselves on the outside. And that's what I'm all about. It's truly just being myself and living in my truth and being a person who, who says the thing out loud. And I'm not saying that I'm just this big, I'm not. I've been a coward. I've been afraid. There are a lot of times I don't want to have the hard conversation and stuff like that. But that's why we're here. I believe that is why we're here. If we are truly here to work together, to be in this big tent, then like, yes, the conversations will be uncomfortable. But if you are a non-black person and you don't know nothing about black people, you should talk to black people. It does not matter if you're uncomfortable. It don't matter if you ain't never had a black friend. None of that shit matters. If you are non-black, and I'm not just saying this for white people, this is white people, this is Mexican people, this is Indian people, this is people from the Middle East, this is people, Native American people. If you don't know anybody black, when you are trying to come into the black community, you need to find some black people. You have to find black people who are different than you, black people that you might be afraid of. And I'm not talking about well-meaning, what y'all like to call black people who walk around in Doc Martens and polos and stuff like that. And no, I'm talking about every spectrum of Negro. You need to talk to them. Get to know them. Go to their churches outside of election year. Pull up. What's up, Jarvis? We do. But we can't ask. The thing about this is, right, and I'm going on a tangent. The thing about this is asking candidates for a plan for blackness. That is very nuanced, right? It's a very nuanced ask. Right. There's a sister on Facebook. She made a post about how she thinks it's unfair that State Rep Tallarico is getting all of these requests for what his plan is for the black community. And, it's not fair, like favor not fair. And he is just so happens to be the person who is drawing the most attention. So everybody is pointing their aim at him. Right. But the thing is, though, it has to be a leadership thing. So like us as black people who, largely vote with the Democratic body, we have to organize ourselves inside of the Democratic body to an effect where we can go to the Democratic leadership and tell them this is what it is going to be, right? Shout out to State Rep Jolanda Jones. She's been doing a phenomenal job since the convention at like saying the quiet thing out loud. And I appreciate her for that. I appreciate the way she's been standing on business for black people, for black Texans, for black Houstonians. Like, I appreciate her saying the quiet thing out loud, like, because it is uncomfortable. But we have to, as a people, we got to organize better. Like, everybody is saying, like, oh, what we going to do, blah, 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 this and that and the third. Me and Mayor Robinson talked about it last week, right? Like, the way we organize is outdated. There are a lot of people who don't go to church no more. You go to all these different churches, like, you don't see too many people. If you between the ages of 22 and like 35, you don't see too many of y'all in there. They ain't in there for real. Like, I was talking to my counterpart today. We talking about organizing the community, and GTA finna drop. You don't think like like this is where we need to be? Because I know it's a bunch of brothers like me, my age, who gonna tell their girlfriends, their baby mamas, and their wives to leave them alone for 3 to 5 days so they can play Grand Theft Auto. Like, and cousin Linda, you right. But the thing is, like Mayor Robinson was saying, all of the people who are in charge, millennials didn't do this, right? As you very well know, millennials didn't do this. Anybody under the age of 40 didn't do what's happening right now. You know what I mean? Like, and unfortunately, because the way the laws are written, we got to wait till these people age out or pass. You know what I'm saying? I'm not wishing the death on anybody, but if we want our government to work in a way that serves the majority and not the minority, in the African American community at least, the placating to those who do not mean us any good, that has to end. Those of us who look like us but will sell us under the bridge, they have to go. You cannot just look out for your partner because he's your friend. If he's a cancer, you have to cut him out and he has to go. We cannot be like, we can't be under this umbrella, but then all be scattered because of the different nuances in our blackness when the one thing that unites us is constantly under attack. No more DEI. No longer can the government tell these white people who own these big ass companies that you have to hire people who don't look like you. And for anybody who may be more conservative leaning, you want to talk about it being on merit and all that other kind of shit. Whenever you go into a Chinese restaurant in a black neighborhood, it ain't too many black people working behind the counter. Say the quiet thing out loud. People who look like other people usually hire people who look like them. And they live around people who look like them. And they vote equal to people who look like them. So it doesn't matter that most black Democrats are like socially conservative. They don't really get down with a bunch of socially liberal things for sure, but we definitely vote Democrat most of the time. And the minority of you Negroes who decided to be on the Republican side for whatever reason, like I get it, like it's the policy, but those policies really haven't done anything for you either, fam. Like we the same kind of Negro. Like, I've been living here just as long as you. There's nothing that you could tell me about policies that Republicans have put in place unless you are a millionaire. If you're a millionaire and you're trying to like hedge your bets in the stock market and you're trying to hide money here and there, fine. But that's not the majority of Negroes. It is not. So the only way that we can progress and present any kind of plan to any kind of leadership is to first get it together internally. And that has been something that we have been unable to do for so long. Because you got all these different nuanced groups of Negroes. You can start with the religions. You got Muslims, you got Christians, you got atheists, you got, hell no, I'm not covering Trump's speech tonight. So he can get on TV and lie. First of all, my show is going to be over before then. But I'm going to get to that, Ryan. I've been waiting for you to pop up in the chat. And Jarvis, so organizing, like it has become taboo, but I would say that like the one thing when I was running for office, the one thing that I was telling everybody in the Black Caucus is we have to find a way to create community again in the Black community, right? Like, a lot of people, back in the day used to be something. Hold on, you was on to something with the different groups. Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying. Like, my point, right? Create a community, right? Like, you got all the different groups of Black people, bro. The woke Black people, the Christian Black people, the Muslim Black people, the gay Black people, the straight Black people, the trans Black people, all of these different Black people. But the Blackness is the one thing that's the through line for all of the stuff that's going on in our lives. Yet we have not seen the coalesce around the Blackness. It's everything that makes us different. We stay in all of these different silos and we don't come together. We don't help each other because I believe in God and you believe in Allah. So now we not breaking bread. We not helping each other because we have a holy war going on in here. But like this right here is getting hung from trees. This right here is getting fired from their jobs. This right here is getting suspended from school. This right here is getting the brunt of anything American society can give them. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, but that's not important to most Negroes. That's not important. It's not important to be united. It's important to stand alone like this. It's important to be by your goddamn self out here. That's what's important. Like all of the community that existed in the Black community is gone. How many of y'all know your neighbors? How many of y'all know Miss Johnson? You know what I mean? Like how many? Like no one. People don't even remember cell phone numbers no more. But like the thing, it don't gotta be spoken on publicly, bro. We gotta be helping each other all the time. When I lived in Michigan, dog, man, there was this guy, bro. He's such an inspiration to me. His name is Madev Desai. Madev, if you ever catch his podcast, know that you left a lasting impression on me. I went to Michigan to go organize his campaign. This is back when the Detroiters liked Haley Stevens. Tracy, I don't know what's going on, but everybody is telling me that she did not do well. I think I spoke on this last time. And I was up there, and Madev, Tracy, I don't know if you remember Madev, but Madev was this older Indian guy. And in his community, they had this community center that was specifically for Indian people, where every Saturday they had curriculum to teach the Indian youth about their heritage, to teach them their languages, to talk to them about their heroes. There are Black people everywhere. We got the internet everywhere. If I knew where there was a place, and I'm sure like something like if I knew, right? I don't know. I'm sure it exists, but it don't exist. Like there is this like, hey, black person. You know, in this city, there's like a Black Heritage Center, and you can go in there and then they'll teach you about being black. So now, when you got all these kids, these black kids who grow up white adjacent and they end up going to HBCUs and they're so culture shocked because they've never seen the diversity and blackness that exists in blackness because they learn about being black on the TV too because all the people around them are white for the most part. And then they end up being like the token Negro. And then when they get around other black people, they don't really know how to behave. They don't know what to do. They don't know what to think because they don't have what some very, very intelligent Congress people call cultural competency. You can be culturally incompetent about your blackness. But let me go back, right? Because I done got on the tangent, I done stood up and shit. You know what I mean? What? So all of that passion, the question is, how do you deliver that in a way, right? You know what I mean? Where it's not, where it's like, you know, and I'm trying to unlearn this. And me and the homie was talking about this. You know, when you grow up a roughneck, you know, it's only a few ways that like, you know, people around you handle conflict, right? Either they don't or it's very rah-rah, right? And I'm trying to learn how to be more diplomatic, right? Like truly, honestly and truly. And I think most of the time I am. You know, a few of my colleagues that have seen me get beside myself, you feel me? But that's just because I'm an emotional human. Yes, I'm an Aquarius. Yes, we have emotions. F you if you say we don't. Because we are actually some of the most emotional people around. We just don't really know what to do with those emotions. And it comes out in a lot of various different ways. Yeah, no, I totally agree, Nick. Definitely are. Crack, just the I think crack was the final snowflake on the snowball that was like rolling down the hill that was like, you know, like trampling over all of the great things that like black people had put together before that time. Like crack was the domino that made everything fall down. And it eventually, you know what I'm saying, ruined the progress that was being made in the inner cities. And like the inner cities are bouncing back, but it's mainly because of gentrification. Like really. Like because the amount like just millennials can't buy houses. That's it right there. Like the way the transference of wealth isn't happening because millennials can't afford houses. Interest rates too high. The amount of money you got to put together to get a house too high. Then when they get the house, they got to pay for all of the things that encompass owning a house, and it's just not what it was when you was 35 or 25 in 1990 or 1984. It's like, you know, like granted, it's a wonderful thing that Senator Warnock did. It's a wonderful thing that he got the bipartisan federal housing bill put into law. But when corporate landlords can own 350 single family homes, we are living in hell. Because how many, like 300, so if you a big conglomerate and you own 10 corporations, that is 3,500 single family homes that can be bought. And these companies have billions and billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars, bro. And when my grandma was coming up, bro, big corporations didn't own neighborhoods. Right? Like they all like that's the thing. Like all of these people, they had the chance to like make some money. Like he like get the loop. I mean, whatever. It's his bill, Ryan. So shout out to him. Everybody like his name on it. So shout out to him. But the loopholes are gonna be crazy. Like, and reverse racism is not a real thing. It is not a real thing. I'm saying this. We clipping this. Black people cannot be racist. Racism is a system of oppression. You have to have resources to oppress someone. The average household income of a black family in America is $45,000. Okay? Anybody who only has $45,000 has no money to oppress you. None. Zero. None. No money. You cannot be oppressed by us. We don't control the federal, state, or any other local governments. It don't matter how many of us get in the seat. We don't control resources to the account that we can use those resources to oppress you. We may be able to use those resources to make a couple of our friends rich. Maybe. We ain't got shit. And they talking about racism like this replacement theory thing. It is mediocre white dudes. And I'm not trying to be mean, but like if you're a mediocre white dude and the shoe fits, the shoe fits. If you're a mediocre white dude, you're upset that like black women been going to school hand over motherfucking fist. They going to school more than anybody and they doing a great job in every job that they do. But the companies are owned by white dudes who are racist, who don't want women to be above them, even though they got these smart sisters coming in these businesses and they turning everything around and they 10x in the money and they making everything look way better. They're just not going to allow this black woman to make more money than Mitch McConnell. You know, racism. Black people are not helpless, bro. The government, Christian Menefee said it the best, bro. Christian Menefee said it the best. The government got to fix what it broke. The government appraises white houses higher than black houses. Fix what it broke. The government denied black soldiers access to the GI Bill for a long time. Fix what it broke. The GI Bill is what actually created the middle class after we got out of the World War. Fix what it broke. The government subsidized white life, bro. White people are not, we pulled ourselves up out of bootstraps. That ain't it, fam. White people control the government. So whenever them tax dollars come in, if your cousin is the controller, you can find out when the contract gonna come. Bubba gonna open a construction company because Mr. Washington is the head at the bank who go to church with his grandma and everybody live in this bubble together because they're white, so they're sharing resources together. They're sharing the resources. They don't share that with black people. They don't share that with black people at all. They let other people come from all around the world because they have governments that can advocate for them. The American Negro is the youngest race of people on earth. We are the byproduct of chattel slavery. We do what I'm doing right now, bro. And we use the internet. We use the internet to be able to build wealth for ourselves. But we have been kept out of the loop for so long that you know how long it's going to take? Right? I was listening to I believe he was the president of the Houston Democratic Socialists of America. And he was saying, right, like that, basically the DSA is about the workers making the decisions about the things that they are working on. And the lady that was interviewing him asked, well, what does that look like? Because what if these people don't have the education, right, to run these companies? What if they don't have the education to be able to make these high-level decisions? Which makes sense, right? Because they're workers. I'm not going to ask the guy on the line to go and look at the books, right? I'm not going to ask him to gauge customer sentiment because he works on the line. But I'm not disagreeing that workers should have rights. But the thing is, there's such a large gap in education, bro. Such a large gap in education. Shout out Stacy. What's up, Stacy? I see you in the chat. Stacy at the state board arguing with a white lady who was trying to tell her that Thomas Jefferson was a nice guy and that he was being mischaracterized. He's literally a rapist. He's literally a rapist. He's a sadist. Like all of those slave owners are some sadistic, evil motherfuckers who do not believe in God. They do not serve the same Jesus that I serve. They are some sadistic, psychopathic people. And to be saying that these people are being mischaracterized is nuts. That's like saying Hitler was a nice guy. That's like, so Hitler is so evil because what he did it to white people, but Thomas Jefferson get a pass? He get a pass? That's crazy. It's insane. It is insane. The reality is, I say it all the time, there's some Handmaid's Tale ass shit, bro. We are literally living in the Handmaid's Tale. It makes no sense. And the thing is, bro, they want you to be this meek, quiet, well-kept, suit-wearing Negro who just says, yeah, we won't rile up the other Negroes. And I don't know, bro. Like, because like my cousin said earlier, all the stuff that we've been doing got us to where we are. So like if the stuff we've been doing got us to where we are and we still doing it, like, and the people in charge are still doing what they was doing that got them where they are, even though they rich and they okay, they don't have to worry about anything else anymore. Like, so do we just continue that same cycle? And you are right, Trey, Stacy. They don't see us as human beings that just want to live, and that's my whole thing. My whole platform is about Black life, Black love, Black participation, Black money, Black independence. Like, be free, and get paid, young nigga, get paid. But be free while you are doing that. Whoever you are, live in your pride. I don't give a damn. Be yourself, but be free. Be free from patriarchy. Be free from racism. Be free from the oppressive white gaze, my brother. Be free, please. Because like Stacey said, if you don't free yourself, if you don't free, like, bro, these phones, and I said it once, I say it again, these phones are literal gold mines in our pockets. You can look anything up. But us not have a community is the detriment of what we have going on right now, because people don't feel like they have other people to turn to. And when you have to do certain things to get money from white people, because white people could carry the majority of the wealth that's being distributed like publicly, like, it really puts a damper on the enthusiasm that would otherwise exist in the community, because there are some people who it is in their best interest to make sure that enthusiasm does not exist. Like, right. Because I remember telling one of the homies that one day I want to go and I want to get a pilot's license. And he looked at me like, are you crazy? Like, why do you think you could do that? But why wouldn't I think I can do that? Why wouldn't I think I could be a pilot? My body is free to do what it pleases. This is my body. My Black body is free to participate in life in whatever way I see fit. And that has to be the mantra. But in order for us to be able to live these free, abundant lives, we have to, one, come together, and we have to, two, position ourselves as a community in a way that will show those that we are trying to influence for our good that we're not playing. Yeah. I seen a couple of episodes of that Love Island, and you seen that young boy with the ponytail. He couldn't read for real.
The epitome of testing connections. I wanted to be able to immerse myself in the experience.
You're like a slow roast. You built up the
I say that she's just like a ball of fresh air.
I'm gonna compromise with you. We're gonna compromise.
The literacy rates are terrible. Shout out to Jaren and Reading with a Rapper. Shout out to my boy Rod and my homegirl TK for putting on that spelling bee. No, fool. It ain't got nothing to do with parenting or like a mindset. Because what's a mindset? If you are poor, your mindset is survival. It's survival. It don't got nothing to do with that. These people are poor. All they can do is figure out how to go to work. I got to go to work. I got to go home. I got to go to work. It ain't no mindset. They are poor. That's the problem. That's the problem with white thinking. White thinking says you got to think your way out of this. That's not true. White people didn't sit in. White people were poor as hell before government subsidized them. Have you ever seen "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou"? Poe, before the government came and subsidized everything for white people, the unions wouldn't even let Negroes join. Like, why you think all of them gangs popped up, bro? Why you think the Bloods and the Crips popped up? No, it's not that you raise nobody oppressed. They're already oppressed. They're poor, bro. They are poor. They are poor. They are poor. Like, there's no, nobody, Bro, I've been black all my life. I know plenty of poor black people, bro. I don't know no poor black person that goes and tell their kid, I'm poor. They don't say nothing. They take it on the chin. And they go on about their day and they go to work and they try to do the best they can to make sure that they can provide what they can provide. But there's also a serious lack of opportunity in the places in which we inhabit most of the time. Like, it don't have nothing to do with none of that, bro. It's all about welfare from the government. The government has to fix what it broke. The government gave everybody else some welfare. Government gave everybody welfare. The government needs to give black people welfare. That's it. Whatever that welfare looks like. I'm not talking about no goddamn food stamps neither. Let's be clear. I'm talking about like no 0 to no interest loans. Like, right? Like low to 0 interest loans on property. Free college. That's what I'm talking about. Like, how about we don't pay taxes for 7 years? 7 to 10 years. Like stuff like that, that kind of welfare, to be able to give a certain group of people a leg up in society so that they can take some time and they can stack some paper and they can do better for themselves. Like, that's it. Just make it, you know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't got to be equal, bro. When is it going to be our turn? And I think that's going back to my point, right? Like, is it rebel rousing or is it activism to say, when is it gonna be our turn? Like, and how do you say, when is it gonna be our turn? How loud is too loud? How crunk is too crunk? How outspoken is too outspoken? What is the line? What is the line between Martin Luther King and Fannie Lou Hamer? When are you Malcolm X or you Booker T? When are you Du Bois or Marcus Garvey? Right? Like, when? Like, when is the time to be either one of those characters who, right, in my mind, they was out here fighting for black people to have better lives. Some of them will have better relationships with the powers that be. Some of them did not have good relationships with the power that be because they were a little bit too assertive. Maybe they were a little bit too aggressive. Maybe they were a little bit too much. But how, right? How do we make space, or like, when do you turn it on and off? See, like, right now, I read an article today, and at first when I read it, I was a little offended. So there was no, sorry y'all, hold up, I'm gonna be right back. I spilled my tea. Okay, but so I was reading this article today. You know, the DSA has been doing a lot of winning lately, and I saw this article. Oh, it's in my phone. Here we go. So the headline for this article is Black voters keep putting the brakes on the socialist revolution. Thank you. It's really helped. I don't know if you could tell, but I have not hemmed that many times today on the live. Thank the Lord. Look at him, favor. But anyway, so the headline for this article is Black voters keep putting the brakes on the socialist revolution. Now, I shared that with some of my colleagues today. One of them responded, can't read the full article, but I feel like the headline is misleading, right? And I can totally understand that, because when I first read it, when I first saw it, I was like, oh my God. Like, but then as I thought about it, I was like, oh no, I really don't disagree, right? And, thinking about, socialism and black people, and, how we want, government to participate in our lives. I was thinking about that, and the article was pretty clear, about like how black people vote, right? Like, we had, Bernie Sanders had his run. Bernie Sanders he was doing his big one, but he got bumped out by Rep. Clyburn, South Carolina, in the black vote, right? And that's largely because I mean, it ain't even nothing to fall for. It's largely because Bernie Sanders talks about class, right? It's kind of similar to what you're talking about, Ryan. It's not too far off. He's talking about class. And it goes back to the cultural competency of people who don't look like us when it comes to like messaging and talking to us about things that matter to us, right? And yeah, like, like and when Mandami won, he won in New York. Like they do ranked choice voting and stuff. So like his opponent got most of the black vote at first. But then when they went over it again, he got more of the black vote, but he got less of the older black vote and more of the younger black vote. Now, if we were to put that into like a nationwide thing, he'd probably lose because there are going to be more older black people, especially in the South, who are going to vote than like younger. And I believe like that. I believe because we are more socially conservative. That like there are a lot of things as far as right, like socialism is concerned, that they not really the pragmatic side of most black voters is not going to go for that really. It's just not an appealing message because we have, like I've been discussing, me yelling at Ryan, there's such a survival instinct that there's such a survival instinct embedded in so many black people as far as like how we can interact with government in a way where government won't be a harm to us, but it can also give us like what we need. And the article was saying that black people use the Democratic Party as like a vessel of change, and we don't see the Republican Party the same way. And I think that accurately depicts like the relationship between most black voters and the Democratic Party, is that it is seen as like this vehicle of change. But the problem is the Democratic Party won't say the quiet thing real loud, and that is what is causing this schism, right? And it's kind of troubling to me because like we are having a lot of that's such a non-black thing to say, because don't know black people want no famous. We don't want that. That's not how this works. Like we don't need artists and celebrities to like come and say like, hey, like lift us up. Like they are getting paid. Did you not have you not been listening? Did I just tell you that these people are paid by people who are paying them to shut up? They can't say stuff. They can't, like, you think LeBron can just get on the internet and just say how he feel about white people or some shit like that? He cannot. That's why he be lying about reading books and stuff. He can't really say whatever he want to say. They take that money and everything from him. They'll set him up, put a white woman in his room, there'll be some cocaine in there, it'll be bad. It would ruin him. Right? What? They've killed famous black people for less. I still am not convinced that Michael Jackson died on his own. Not convinced. Him or Prince. He is a real black man. He a real black man that's paid by some very, very, very paid white people, bro. He's very paid. Ain't no like good or bad here, bro. It's people living. That's what it is. Ain't like he not LeBron, and no famous black person is not the savior of black people. That's not how it works. And we don't actually need a savior. We just need unity. We don't need a specific leader to come, bro. There are too many people, bro. And right now, with millennials being there are more millennials than there are any other group of like people. Like, and that includes like in blackness. There are more of us than there are anyone else, right? Like, so we, as the millennials, we got to figure out what this country is going to look like, because we are the ones stepping into 40, 50, 60, and 70. Like it is incumbent upon us. Like if it is going to be different, then we have to organize in ways that look different than what the people before us did. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I just want Congressman Menifee to know that I'm so proud of him. I thoroughly enjoy it. I'm already creating the change I want to see. I am the change that I want to see. That's the wrong song. But I'm so incredibly proud of the Congressman Christian Menifee. The way that he jumped down that man's throat the other day in that hearing about DEI.
Black workers are far more likely to be unemployed as white workers at almost every education level. True or false?
That is true.
So do you just believe that black people are more lazy or aren't as good at applications? Why do you think that data is the way it is? If a random white person in this country and a random black person in this country go to get their home appraised, right? Why is it that the black person is much more likely to get a lower value on their home appraisal?
Because they live in a different neighborhood.
Okay, great. We'll get to that in a second because that's wrong. Black people in this country were enslaved for at least 240 years. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, and after slavery ended, you had about 100 more years at least of Jim Crow and legal segregation, where government at the federal, state, and local level blocked black people from owning land, from getting bank loans, from living in certain neighborhoods, from attending certain schools. All of that happened too, right?
Yes.
Okay, so my question to you is simple. Name the year that the playing field became completely even. I want you to give me a date.
I mean, if you're looking at
For home loans, you brought, I think we talked about home loans and appraisals. For home loans, what year did it become equal?
Well, according to the DEI movement in 1991, when they imposed disparate impact.
So you're telling me today that if a black person goes and applies for a home loan, they have the same likelihood of getting accepted for that loan as a white person does?
If you're asking me a person that lives next door to another person, if one is white and one is black and they go both apply for a loan, do I expect different outcomes? No. And if there are, then it should be enforced under discrimination laws.
So you're talking about rules, I'm talking about outcomes. So let's play a game of true and false, and let's start with wealth disparities. The median net worth of a white household in this country is $285,000. The median net worth of a black household is about $45,000. True or false?
I don't know.
Okay, you came here as an expert today in a DEI hearing and you don't know that? Basic facts about wealth accumulation in this country? All right, let's go to the next one. For every $100 in wealth held by white families, black families hold about $15. True or false?
Again, I don't know those specific numbers.
Okay, well, I have data here. It's true. So we know that the answer here isn't just that black people believe in saving less than white people do, right? It's that government in this country has put one set of folks in a better position to succeed than other people. And it was the law for a very, very long time. And it became ingrained in our institutions. Government was part of the problem. And so it has to now be part of the solution.
God bless that man. God bless that brother. Lord, put your hands on Congressman Menifee so that that brother can continue to fight the good fight for all Negroes across the land. Oh, amen. That boy Christian was on his job. Boy, man, if y'all ain't seen them clips, I'm going to make sure that it gets clipped into the clip of this because I'm definitely showing everybody what that brother did. Love Island is terrible. Not even going to lie to you. Love Island is terrible. But, I mean, it is, people just need to escape. That's what I'm trying to tell you. People are having a hard time with life. And black people particularly are having a hard time with life. We are unemployed. We are broke. We ain't helpless. We're not hopeless. But everybody needs a little help. And when white people stop acting like it's a crime for black people to say, help us the way that y'all got helped, society will be a whole lot better. But until white people, get off of their high horse and stop acting like their grandparents didn't do fucked up shit to our grandparents, things are going to be jacked up. Because we got to keep living in this bullshit ass lie that nobody actually believes. Because old white people were mean to old black people. That's the truth. Like, you can try to dress it up anywhere you want, but Peter Pan was fake and he wasn't real. Old white people was mean to old black people. They committed atrocities to old black people. They terrorized old black people. And the fact of the matter is, young blacks like me, I am so passionate about making sure that other blacks are taken care of, that we live happy, healthy, abundant lives, full of love, full of peace. I am going to forever advocate. I'm going to use my voice to say the thing out loud that people don't want to say. But I will say, after much reflection, and I sure do appreciate y'all coming to my safe space with me and listen to me rant about these things that have been on my mind, I am going to do a better job at controlling myself and trying and seeing when I am rebel rousing and when I am actually fighting the power. And now I feel like I'm always fighting the power, but I really appreciate him for saying to me what he said. And what he said was, even if you're right, if you say it in a way that is harsh or feels aggressive, to most people, they're going to view that as wrong, even if what you said is right. And I know I'm such a proud person that I would say something like, I don't give a damn. I know I'm right. But I can admit that that is wrong. I'm a pretty big man. And I can admit that is wrong. And I can admit that I was wrong. And that I did not need to participate in that form in that way. That I did let my passion get the best of me. But, there are times in which I am conflicted on how to participate in the space because there's some bullshit. And I don't know how to act like it's okay. Like, it's really bad. Like, it's really bad. Like, the war is not over. Unemployment is skyrocketing. We can't eat the lettuce. Can't eat fruit. Everybody's afraid they're going to have raging diarrhea if they eat healthy. So now everybody has to go to McDonald's, which means high blood pressure and hypertension going to be up, which means we're going to need more scooters at the HEB because people's knees going to be swollen, their ankles going to be hurt. You're not going to be able to walk because there's a lack of fresh foods because they got rid of everybody that was competent that worked at the FDA. Anybody that was scanning vegetables is no longer employed. So, like we are in some perilous times right now here in America. Very perilous times. Very perilous. But, so it's especially for black people. Like, especially for black people. Like, it's just not a time like Cousin Linda said. Where is it? Where is it? That's it right there. And that's how I feel. But I do know that there's a time to stand up and raise your voice, and there's a time to be diplomatic. And this right now is me saying I can recognize this, and I am going to work to do a better job at identifying those moments. It's not even that. I think that might even be a lie. Because it's not even that I don't recognize those moments, but there's a time in which my brain goes, I don't give a damn about none of that. I don't know how to give a damn about mediocre bullshit. I don't know how to do that. Miss Almeida told me a while ago, I told her I was Aquarius, she said, you harsh. She said, I'm harsh, right? Like, I'm critical. And I definitely am, what I'm saying, of myself and of others, especially if I view you in high regard. I'm definitely going to be critical because, my expectations for you may be unfair, but I don't care. Because, like, if you are someone that I view in high regard, which is there are not a lot of people that I do view in high regard, then I think that the things that you are, and I think the things that you are doing are beneath you. It is definitely going to upset me, and I'm definitely going to let you know that I think that you could be standing in excellence and you are choosing to creep into mediocrity. And if you don't like that, I mean, that's fine. But, I have learned that I don't got to do that in all forms. Like, if you don't got nothing nice to say, then don't say it at all. So, like, Christian is working on that for sure. Yes, and sometimes I do speak about myself in the third person. But, Pan not working on that. Christian is working on that because Pan don't give a damn. Pan gonna say the thing out loud. This is why this is Pan's safe space. But Christian understands it. Christian understands that there's a time and a place, and I'm gonna work a lot harder at that. I just, I pose that question to all the black activists out there. Where is the line? Where's the line? Like, how, like, especially when it's some BS. Like, how do you navigate that? How do you navigate that in a way that don't send you off the deep end? Like, how does that work for you? I would love for anybody. I mean, man, just get in the comments, like, tell me, like, how you feel. Tell me your experience. It's just, it's some bullshit. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It's some bullshit. Like, I done got so riled up, Lord, y'all done made me spill my tea. Oh, man, this has been great. Like, it's usually, see, when I'm by myself, it's usually an hour. I try to get in and out like a good white Baptist church with the clock in the back. But when I have a guest, it's what I think and what they think. And I usually have pretty passionate people on. And I have some great people on here soon. I do want to let y'all know that I think I might be retiring the music for the time being. If I do have musicians on, I will preview their tracks. But I'm not gonna lie, my mama put me on the philosophy of KISS a long time ago. KISS means keep it simple, stupid, right? It's great philosophy. And the simplest thing is for me to get on here and just, let y'all know what I'm thinking, how I'm feeling, and sit here and talk to my guests. It's a lot. It's a lot easier. Don, you know what? You know what I want to say. You know what I want to say. You didn't have to say anything. You see, I just gave a whole lecture about if you ain't got nothing good to say, don't say nothing at all. You gonna get in here. Yeah, I have a finger for you, and it's not my index. But so yeah, because it's just too much. It's just too much. If you are in Houston, Texas, this weekend, James Tallarico will be in town on Sunday in Herm Clark at the Kingdom Builders Cathedral. Check it out. The link to sign up, to join, to come and participate and ask questions. It's a town hall. It's a town hall specifically for a Black audience. So if you are an American Negro here in the Houston area, please come and ask as many questions and learn about the campaign so you can make an informed decision about your candidate. Also, this Sunday, the awesome Our Future Harris County Judge Letitia Plummer is having her relaunch campaign. It is on Sunday. I'll be sharing that news on my social media as well. Tuesday, the Road to Blue Runs Through Black is being held by the state rep, Jolanda Jones. That information is posted on my social media as well. There's a lot of Black engagement happening in Harris County. So if you need to know, you want to know, please check out Politics with Pan. It's all my social handles, except for my personal one, which is Councilman Pan, which is here. But you can follow me at Politics with Pan. You can get all your updates, on things happening in the Black Democratic space. But that's all I got for you today. Oh, you're so lucky I can't find it. All right, y'all. It's been great. Peace, love, learning, love, laughter, and learning. It was a song. It was actually an instrumental. I just couldn't find it in the winter. Yeah, it wouldn't turn on. I think it just played, but it wouldn't turn on. Oh, okay. I'm not gonna go there with you. I'm gonna fight you, dog. I'm gonna be talking about my music. We're gonna bring it back. It's just too much right now. It's just too much right now. But I love y'all. I hope you learned something today. I hope you laughed a little. Americans are done listening to the Blacks complaining about racism when the fact of the matter is that we have been judging about their character. Who is what? No, you didn't get on here and just piss me off before I was about to get off. The hell you talking about? Who is we? Who is we? Are you white? How many Black people you know? You know what? I'm about to go. Cause you are tripping, bro. White people ain't been judging us by the content of our character all along. Did you not just goodbye, America?